And today we are talking with three of my favorite people in the entire industry. I've asked three executives from each of the different segments of the vacation industry that we deal with, and to give their wisdom about what's going on, what should we do, how should we navigate through this time. This is a vacation show, so we know a lot of people that are stuck at home right now will be really, really needing and wanting a vacation here when all of this storm has passed us and we're into clear sailing ahead. So with me right now is Kristin Karst, the co-owner, and she's in charge of all sales for AmaWaterways, my favorite river cruise line. And Kristin, welcome to Vacation Views.
Thank you so much, Mark. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you today.
Well, I know how busy you are, so I will get right into it. But Kristin, you and your husband, Rudy and Gary Murphy, the owners of AmaWaterways, have built this incredible line called AmaWaterways that we just love. We put so many thousands of people on your ships every year, and you have probably millions of people going on river cruises, and I know that season is just starting to gear up, although we put things on pause till May. But it is very fascinating to me, Kristin, in our business, and are you seeing this everywhere? What I'm ready to ask you, the public seems not to have, they don't think of river cruising the same as they are doing ocean cruising right now. And do you see that the same? I think people are still wanting to go on river cruises right now. Do you agree?
I agree. We are actually getting a lot of new bookings into the future, especially Q3, 4 for next year. Travel is in our DNA, and river cruise ships are certainly like floating boutique hotels. So we are having the advantages of both the ocean, like unpacking once, and then enjoying a wonderful, almost pretty much all-inclusive vacation experience while traveling along the river from one beautiful port to the next one. And our ships are very small. I mean, our smallest one, the Zambezi Green in Africa, holds only up to 28 guests. And then our ships in Europe, between 130 to 160 guests. And our ships on the Mekong River in Vietnam and Cambodia, about 120. Portugal on the door, about 100. So it is very small, very personal, very manageable. And of course, we can dock in no time. There's no tendering. And it is definitely an experience everyone wants to have and will not stop to have.
And Kristin, I want to use this example. I've got a good size group, half ship charter on one of your ships going up to Normandy, round trip out of Paris on June 18th. And Kristin, to that point, we've got, I think, 63 people on that, which is well over half that ship. Not one of those people have canceled. Matter of fact, most of them are so excited about going about this, and they have all said the same thing, that they really need this vacation. When all of this is said and done, sometime in hopefully the very near future, we are all going to need a vacation, aren't we?
We do. We absolutely do. And the Normandy is actually so close to my heart. I mean, and especially I know you guys want to go there and see the traces of history, Normandy beaches, but also the cider, maybe right by
you're actually going to hear Dave Ramsey show for a
Normandy.
Few minutes
And we really, I mean, right now we have to suspend our cruises until May 31st. We still hope, of course, we can go in June. And what I'm really seeing while we are working through all of this, travel is in our DNA. It will come back. And there will be an abundance of pent-up demand to meet, particularly if together we can show our guests the benefits of, if we have to postpone, then we need to postpone, rather than canceling their much anticipated travel plans, because our past experiences, either lower war situations or terrorism before, or the fires even here in California, we were always able to navigate through these uncertain times, and we always came out stronger. And what we do in case we would have to move it to a date going forward, we do offer future cruise credits with a hardly 15%. So you get an additional value of 15% into the future. It's like an cash bank that you can apply to any of our services. That means the cruise portion, pre and post nights, extensions, the air, if you book the air with us, transfers. So many things that we do here for you, and hopefully we do this one-stop, non-stop shopping, because that's also the key in these uncertain times. We want to have it all together with you in one hand, because that saves your client a lot of different things to work around, maybe with different suppliers, to have these endless calls. You and Mimi and your team, you're true human beings, and that's why we appreciate so much our partnership and friendship, because we know how much value you provide to your clients, to us. We have your back, you have our back, your clients have it, and that makes the partnership so special.
It really does, and I will tell you, in my 31 years of business, dealing, Kristin, with you personally, and Rudy and Gary and all of your employees at AmaWaterways, they are truly the finest group of people I've ever met. You're not a public company, you're a privately held company. That makes all the difference in the world. And more importantly, maybe than that, is you all three have the heart to serve, and you want to do the right thing with your customers. And your customers are both us as the travel advisors and the people that go on your ships, as well as you want the same thing for your crew and staff. And we have had so many calls, Kristin, as you can imagine. I know you guys are getting so many calls too, from our customers that have river cruises planned, and they're just wanting to know, they just want some counsel, some advice, some wisdom. And that is what we give on a daily basis. And one thing I have said to all of my customers, all of the Cruise Holidays Kansas City customers who have an AmaWaterways cruise book for whenever it might be, I've said, don't you worry about a thing. AmaWaterways will always do the right thing on your behalf, on our behalf, and that's what you've always done. And Kristin, I would say this, thank you for the nice compliment, but Cruise Holidays Kansas City is really a very unique company anymore. There's not a lot like us that really care about that good old-fashioned customer service. We know what we're talking about. We have great relationships with our suppliers, and we always want to do what's right for our customer and match them up with what's best for them. And you've known us for a long time, and that's truly how we operate. And there's a lot of value in that to our customers. Isn't that true?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we feel exactly like you. And I have a quote that I also would like to really mention here, because right now in these special times, it comes to my mind. And it is from Charles Darwin, who said, "It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent. It is the one most adaptable to change." And that's what makes us all so special, being able to adapt the way we have built our business over all these years, that we can really navigate through all these changes together with our clients, with you, with our, I really almost call our guests, our family members, our crew members, the way we need to, because we can personalize together a lot of things. It's not one size fits all, and it's actually fun in these challenging times to see the creativity that we can develop, the overdrive that we have right now, the passion, the sparkle. All of this is really something that no one else can really deliver than like a smaller, personal owned company, and that's what connects your company, Mark and Mimi, and that's what connects you and us with AmaWaterways.
Well, that is so very well said, and Kristin, I want my audience to know you're one of the most happy, positive, kind, caring human beings I've ever met, especially in the position you're in. But that was a comment that Vicki Freed just made earlier in this Vacation Views show, is that now more than ever is a time to be patient. Now more than ever is a time to be kind. And now more than ever, we need positivity, so we should all be positive to each other. And I know you buy into that 100%, don't you?
Oh my God, absolutely. I mean, we are in this together. No matter where we are right now today, no matter if we are ocean or river cruise line, land operator, restaurant, hotel. I mean, this is a long chain here, obviously. We all know this. And we need to work on this together and need to go into the future together. Otherwise, tourism would die. But tourism, again, is in our DNA, and everyone wants to travel again so badly. We families want to see each other again. We friends want to share a glass of wine together again, cruising, along the river, seeing the most beautiful vineyards. And actually, Vicki and myself, we communicate. They send us little messages, even little presents. Heartbreak. I mean, Vicki just sent me, my birthday is coming up in the next few days, a nice little gift and message, and I just sent her a message back. That's what keeps us going, right? It is the positivity, the spirit, the belief in our future together, and the great friendships and partnerships that we have. We are all human beings, yeah? And we will run this mini marathon together, and we will all succeed very well this way.
Very well said. Kristin, thank you so much. I know that you have a million things to do, and I have got to get to my next guest, but I want to say thank you so very much. I know how busy you are, and to take time out. I know you moved some international conference calls around to do this interview with me, and I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. Tell Rudy, Gary, and the whole group hello for me, and that we're praying for you guys, and we know that this thing will be behind us, and then we will all get back on the rivers and be cruising with AmaWaterways and enjoying life again. Kristin, Karst, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you so much, Mark, and your team. Thank you for everything you do. Have a wonderful afternoon.
We'll do it. Thanks so much. This is Mark Comfort Vacation Views. Remember, you deserve a great vacation. I'll be right back. Welcome back to our last segment of Vacation Views, and I've saved the best for last. This is my great friend and the Vice President of Sales for the Globus family of brands, the largest hosted tour company in the world, Paula Hayes. Paula, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, thank you, Mark. It's a pleasure to be with you.
I've titled this show today, Wisdom During These Challenging Times When It Comes to Planning Your Next Vacation, whenever and wherever that might be. So, Paula, with all due respect, you've been in this industry and for a long, long time. What kind of words of wisdom or advice can you give the concerned clients that are out there that really do want a vacation, but they're just not sure what to do?
Well, I think you have to remember, that the travel industry on its own is always on the forefront of crisis. It's not just a health crisis, which we're facing right now. It occurs in an economic situation, natural disasters, but it always comes back. So even though at this moment you may not be thinking of an immediate trip, I think there's always that little thought in the back of your mind that when things get better, when things seem safer, I'm going to be ready to travel. And you should never stop thinking about those travel dreams. I mean, I think about our company. We've been in business for over 90 years. Think about it. World War II, the September 11th. We always come back because there is something about travel that is so inspiring to people that it will fray us, but it never breaks us.
Paula, that's so very well said. And let's use that September 11th as an example of this, because it's the nearest to the memory of something that just was absolutely a crisis that happened. But boy, the way the business bounced back, people wanted so badly. It seemed like literally January 1st of 2002, everybody said, do you know what? I'm not going to let these guys ruin my travel dreams and my bucket list vacations. And the travel industry, the vacation industry just literally grew so very much. And Paula, that's the other thing too. I've got a little chart right here in front of me, and I'm going to send it to you when we're done here. But it shows the stock market during the last 50 years. It shows all the times that the stock market went down when there was a virus or an epidemic of some sort. And then it shows how within the next 2 to 3 years, how far it bounced up higher than it was before it went down. And that's happened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. 9 times just on what I'm looking at since 1992, it looks like.
I believe it. I believe it. And a healthy stock market is always a good predictor of a healthy travel. So we're feeling very much the same way, Mark. We think that 21 is going to be a great year. We think that there will be pent-up demand. I mean, when you think about it, as human beings, when we go through these crises and we're feeling separated and alone, and we're so grateful for the people that we love, and we're so grateful for the time that we have together, that when the crisis passes, there's this natural feeling that travel will help us heal. It'll make us feel more connected to each other, and it will make us feel more connected to the bigger world, you know? I think that's part of how we get through these times together and how we become a better world together as we face these things.
And I agree with that 100%. And Paula, you and I have talked, and everybody's talking about what parts of the world will come back first on the Americans' vacation destinations. And one of the things I think almost most of us can agree with, that there'll be a lot of people probably early on wanting to stay a little closer to home. And you told me while we were talking about this show that maybe the national parks that Globus family of brands does might come back really quicker than anything. Is that true? Do you agree with that?
Totally. I think people are feeling more comfortable because, let's face it, I mean, I'll share with you, I have a daughter who's currently home with 4 children that are not going back to school until September. So you can imagine she's already dreaming of vacation, but not an international vacation. So she's thinking about a national parks vacation for them because it is something they could drive to potentially if they didn't want to deal with airlines, and who knows how quickly they'll come back and what prices we're going to be able to see. But she thinks that's an achievable vacation for them. It's something that will help them bond and create some nature and some beauty beyond what we've been dealing with sitting in our own 4 walls for so many days and months, unfortunately. But yeah, she's a normal, regular consumer out there who has to have this dream almost to get through these difficult months, to keep the kids focused. And yes, we're going to get out of here. And a national park vacation for her sounds wonderful. And, you know, there's a lot of things when we think about our bucket list. I guess we start big maybe and think about the most exotic place in the world we'd ever want to go. But think about the things that are close to home, like the Tournament of Roses Parade, or maybe the Albuquerque Balloon Festival, or maybe just hopping up to Canada and doing Jasper. There are some really beautiful places in the U.S. and, of course, in North America that are safe and easy to get to and will probably be the very first destinations that we see come back.
Yeah, I agree. And I think maybe the fall color changes on the East Coast might be real popular there. It's not surprising to me if we don't see, you know, people getting in their car a little bit more and driving and taking vacations for a while. But the thing is, Paula, and it's agencies like us, we can counsel you on what kind of trips that are available through great suppliers like you that have the buying power to have the best rates and values and availability at some of these iconic properties across the United States or the world for that matter. But there's so much value in what we as a professional travel advisor, like what Mimi and I have got with Cruise Holidays and Comfort Tours and Travel. And you've known us and you've known our business for many, many years. And I think you would agree that we offer an awful lot of value to our clients, don't we?
Oh my gosh, yes, because you have such an incredible team that works for your company. You and Mimi as leaders are incredible, but your frontline agents are some of the most knowledgeable people out there. They really understand how to qualify a client, get to what the heart of what they're looking for is, guide them in a way that is completely unbiased and 100% focused on what's going to be right for that client in that moment. And it just creates this sense of security, I think, for a client to know they put themselves in the hands of an expert whose number one priority is them and who is there to take care of all of the details so that they can just relax and not worry about the logistics of their trip, but dream about how that trip is going to unfold for them.
Well, and I thank you for that. And boy, there's never times like these when it's challenging for all of us to have a professional that is a partner with you. And that goes from our clients to us as their travel advisor. And Paula, you and your company at the Globus family of brands on that end of it. So we all work together to make sure our clients get the best vacations and the most value from the counsel that we have to offer. And there's never been a time like this, I don't think, that our counsel's been more valuable. And Paula, I do apologize. We're running down to the very end, and I need to get you back on again. Would you come back on with me when times are brighter and we can talk about, all the different places in the international world that will be popular for people to go to?
I would love to do that. And the Globus family of brands is with you in good
45.
times and in bad, Mark. We'll always be there for you, for your clients. And I can't wait for the day that we can talk about what's going on in the world and what destinations are emerging most quickly in the international scene. I think that would be a really great show.
We'll do that again, Paula. Thank you so much. And again, I appreciate you joining me. Hey, I've got to take a break. I've got to end the show, as a matter of fact. This is Mark Comfort, Vacation Views. You all deserve a great vacation. Be kind, be positive, and be patient. I think that's the best advice I can give you right now. Take care, everybody, and I'll talk to you next week. Adios.
Yep.